I have the best life. I breathe fresh air daily. My heart beats every day. Let's start with affirmation. It will take off the heavy energy from listening. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Now let's do the affirmation. I am healed. I am loved. I am confident. I am blessed. I am where I am supposed to be. Hold it in. Be in one with your spirit. Feel the energy around you. Loosen your heart. Loosen your mind. The energy around your shoulders, around your spine. Let it fall down all out. Fall down through your spine. Then be one with the ground. Now shake off the shoulders. Put your neck left. Put it right. Send it forward and send it backward. And you are energized. Today I'll be giving you a little explanation, and hopefully the end will heal and help you to be strong and take back your value that you lost giving it to the wrong people. It is time to let your voice out and be you. Compromising starts with you, not that you are selfish, but with no one compromising for you. You are the one. You are the only person who can. Bringing out my closet, as I have said on a trailer, is a way of me finding myself and letting my inner child heal and get out of the cage and grow to be a phenomenal woman she is. Bringing out my closet is a series of my upbringing, and I know one listening might have gone through this even worse. Please subscribe to my podcast, follow and like and comment down below if it resonates with you. This was just the explanation in order for you to know if this is for you. So tune in on our next episode where the journey begins. Thank you so much once again for the love you have shown me. Thank you so much again for the support that you are showing me. I wish you a lovely day. Stay blessed. Thank you. Oftentimes we plan to start something We get ideas of something to begin and we never start. And you get this burning fire on you and you decide, like, you know what, this is it. This is the point where I really, really, really had to start. And only to find out that, man, you don't know. All the ideas seems to vanish, and all the vanish, like you are not even sure what you're doing. You become lost. You become all of a sudden occupied with so much things, and love then hits again and you are back to square one. Well, my advice is, you know what, even if you're not ready, don't wait to be ready. Never wait to be ready, because being ready will definitely make you know where to start. Hello and welcome to this episode, Bringing Out My Closet Not Sorry. It took me a few extra days to record this episode. The reason being that I wanted to script it all down. But the show is raw and personal. How is it that I'm supposed to be scripting it? Not sorry. I finally shredded the material that I was working on. And here I am, bringing out my closet, not sorry. Now, before I dive in, I had a mind, like a thought. Let me say, I know that most of us, we plan and we wish and we dream of starting something, and when it's supposed to happen, we don't. There seem to be something pulling us backwards. There seem to be doubts. There seem to be like no perfection, like those syndrome where you really need to be perfect and you really need to make sure that the show is up and running. But then there's something that will tell you you can't do it. You have to script it down. It has to sound better. It has to sound good. It's not good enough. You can't do it, and yet you know deep down you can do it. That's the reason it started, after all. So my advice is, start. Don't wait for all these loud noises on your brain, on your head, like telling you have to script everything down, and just do it. This is a raw show. It's all about bringing my closet. If you are to know me, or you think you know me, you might as well be part of the show, or you might as well pop out somehow if you have added an impact in my life, and if you have also like been a part in my life where you have made a difference or it affected me, and I'm bringing out my closet and I am not sorry. And as you all know that from the introduction, that they bring out my closet, it's all about my life. It's the fun that happened into my life, the joy, all memories. I am bringing it out, and the hurt that has affected me, a lot of things. Like, it's all about my personal life, and I know somewhere out there are people who are really more like hurt than I am, and who are being tormented way worse than I thought I was. And if you have that kind of life and you have experienced that kind of life, when like I actually look for love, because I thank God He has given me the gift of love, the fruit of love. He has given me all love, and I always try to share it with whoever come in contact with me. But you know how it is in life. You meet the wrong people, you meet the right people, but there's no wrong people. Everybody is right, and everybody who passes and who come across your life, your path, is there to teach you a lesson, and it's a purpose for them to be there. They have to leave a mark, and because some of them, the people without leaving the mark, we are not who we are. we are not strong as we are supposed to be. We tend to think we are better, but we don't know until you have met the people you trusted, the people you believed could be part of your life, could be there forever, and could understand you, and then you find out they don't understand you. So as I bring out my closet, I was born in a small settlement. It was called Marjane, and to a beautiful woman, like she was a lovely lady. She was a beautiful woman, but then she had her rough life as well prior to my birth. She had a rough life, was not good to her, and that led her to the state where she is, or where he is, like where she is, yes, or who she is. I would like to say, do not let what happens in your life affect you and the people around you. Heal. Try to heal. Pray about it. You can't tell people about it. I won't say tell somebody about it, although it is advised to talk about it. Tell somebody about it. But I realized the more you tell people about your difficulties, your life, or the challenges that you are going through, they get an opportunity to undermine you, to use it against you, like to blackmail you with it, although you trust them, and you don't heal. It adds up. It adds up to the trauma, the hurt that you are going through, the disappointment. It adds up to that, and they do not understand that they are hurting you, and they don't understand that you chose them to tell them about yourself. They don't see that you trusted them with your own privacy, with your own private life, with everything that was happening into you. You needed someone to listen. Instead of them being listeners, they had to be the destroyers. They had to add up to you being hurt. Well, let me start a little bit like about her. I call her my mother. I call her mother. Here's a little bit of her closet inside mine. Her closet inside mine. Well, she was born in Devondale, I think. It was like a farm, small Christian complex where there was a convent there. They had to go, like they grew up as a Christian, like she grew up in a Christian world, in a Catholic, and she was taught by the nuns, and she had a little sister. I think they had a last born for my grandmother, and for the reason for them to move out of that town was that my auntie, the little sister of my mother, played outside with fire, and they went and stole the paraffin. And while she was stealing her paraffin, it was on a Sunday after church, she held the paraffin against her stomach, and while she was running, the paraffin would just pour all over the dress. And when they get to where they were on that fire, they lit the fire, but it was windy. So she stretched the dress, trying to protect the wind. It does not stop the fire. Well, this is what I was told. That's what my mother told me. And when they lit the fire, it catch the dress, and she burned. And they took her to the doctor. She was only 3-4 years. She was very, very young. And she was the most beautiful girl. She was the prettiest of them all. And she burned when she got to the doctor, and they realized the intestine has cooked, like she burned inside, like, you know, she couldn't make it. Yeah, well, she didn't make it. She didn't. And they loved her. My grandmother loved her, and she resented my mother. She resented everybody, and they moved out of Devondale and went to Majing, to the settlement right behind the mountains. There was only 3, 4, 5 houses that time around, surrounded by mountains, far away from the road. Like, it was far away from everything. And when she grew up, she was not happy. They really didn't like my grandmother. She was sad. She needed healing, and there was no one at that time. Remember those 1950s, 1940s, those years, like the healing part, you were just by yourself. You have to heal regardless. You had to. There was nothing else you could do unless if you healed yourself. And when she grew up, she got married. She was taken to her mother-in-law's house, and the husband for mother was abusive. The mother-in-law as well was a monster. So when the husband go out to work by the mines, the mother-in-law would always beat her up and torment her, like literally, like hate her. She had a hatred in herself. And when the son come back month end, you know, when you are going to work, you only come after 30 days. You come back, and before he could get to her, the mother already has started that the woman was bad. The woman did this to me. Your wife did this to your wife did that. So the husband got furious, like, why would she treat the mother like that? His mother like that? Then before she could say anything to him, he beat her up. He kicked her up. He beat them black and blue. And she had no one to turn to. She had no one to talk to. She had nobody, like no one. And she was by her mother-in-law's house, like prison. You know, that those days when you were married, you were married. You have to be with your mother-in-law, regardless. You are there. Nobody want to do anything with you. You are married now. You are those people's problem. You know, you have to learn to fix the problem with them. Now, the time the husband beat her, she was pregnant and she had a miscarriage. And months went on and went by, you know, she was not giving birth. She was not like falling pregnant and being beaten, being abused all the time. And one day, the husband came back with a woman that was pregnant in the middle of the night, like, you know. So the mother-in-law came in and kicked her and said, you know what, I cannot accommodate 2 women in the house. And you are not a woman. You cannot even give birth. Now move out of the bedroom. This woman is pregnant with my son's baby. Now you have to get out. She refused. She started crying, and they beat her up. They beat her, and they took everything away from her. They took away the clothes that the husband bought, makeup, everything, and they gave her only a bag that she came with from her home. In the middle of the night, she had to walk bare feet with only her old clothes that she left home with, crying all the way in the middle of the night. Thank God, those days there were no criminals. There were criminals, but they were not bad criminals. Like today, you can't even you can't even you can't walk around in the middle of the night. I mean, that's suicidal. You don't do that. in the middle of the night now in these days. You don't do that. She went on crying all the way, got home and tried to heal. She couldn't take it. She couldn't eat. She couldn't talk to anybody for more than 5 months. The 5th month, she decided to go to look for a job. The town was called Daura. It was just outside Majing. So she went and looked for a job, and she found a job. And they were using a bus to travel those days. It was a bus, and while she was in a bus, there was a gentleman always eyeing her. This gentleman monitored her, like watched her daily, every day, and he was impressed. So it happened that one day when she get out of the bus, the gentleman also decided to get out. Now you must remember, her house is in the settlement, like in the bush, right in the mountain, like behind the mountains. Even when you are on the road, like on the highway, you can't see the mountain. You only have to walk across a little bit, and then the mountain will show, So if you can't see the mountain, it's quite a distance, about 5-10 kilos away from the road. Now terrified, knowing that she is the only one that gets off that stop every day at that time, walks home alone. Now this gentleman was following her and not saying anything. She started to get terrified, and she grabbed a stone and told the man, if you do not stop following me, I swear to God, I will hit your head with this stone. And the gentleman was like, oh no, relax, I'm just admiring you. I feel bad that you have to walk all this way alone, so I am actually the one who's guarding you. I don't want nothing to happen to you. If anything will happen to you, I will die. And those were smooth words from him to her, and love began. A new life began for her. She felt alive for the moment, and that's when the chapter was written. That's when love and more healing came to her. And they continued on until she was pregnant, and the guy disappeared. Another devastation. She got devastated. She got angry. The anger came back from her previous marriage, and she had no idea where the man was staying. She had to now start bus stop by bus stop, looking where will he get off, until one day she noticed him going to a house, and she followed her with a heavy stomach on her third trimester, like she was almost there. And she screamed at the man as he approaches the house. She screamed, like, how can you do this to me? You can't leave me with the baby. How do you do this to me? What kind of man you are? And I am pregnant with your baby, and you go and do this. Not knowing that the man was a family man. He was actually married. He had a wife and children at home. Only now she learned that the man was actually married. And the wife, from hearing all this, she rushed out of the house, and she came with a huge scissor that you used to cut the sheep. She came out with it, and she wanted to tear open the stomach. She wanted to tear it all out, like unbelievable. Like, how can this girl come and claim that the baby is my husband? And she stopped, but the woman protected, she protected her baby, and it cut her arm wide open, like a huge blood started gushing off, and she ran away crying again. She had again to walk more 15 kilos crying while she was pregnant, crying all the way to her home. Another period of sadness came back. All those memories came back, like, why would life be so, how could life be like this to her? And she was angry at herself. How did she do it? She thought she would get married, and she didn't know that the man was married. She wished she was never pregnant, but she was. A few days later, she had to go back to work and try to go and, look for a job again. While she was on the way, the clouds started gathering. A heavy storm came. She was like 5 kilometers away from her house, between the road and her house, and it got dark all of a sudden, and the thunder struck and lightning hit right in front of her, which blinded her. And at that point, her water broke, and she was blind. She had to walk out and with her arms held out, trying to make sure that she doesn't hit anything. Then she came to a wire and held on to it. She gained her sight and started to have labor pain, and there was nobody who could help her. She tried to walk, and she tried to walk a little bit more till the stop time, and the bus was coming, and she couldn't run. She was in pain, but luckily for her, the driver knew her, and he had to stop, and they had to help her, take it to the hospital. And the baby was born premature. She was held on the incubation, like on the box, being fed with on her nostrils, pipes all over. And she had to spend 2 more months at the hospital. And when she came back, she hated this baby. She couldn't believe her life was so miserable with the baby. It was unbelievable. And 2 weeks to come, the father of the baby finally showed up with the grocery, and then she felt the joy again. But still hurt. Now bringing out my closet. I was born at the wrong time, and many things happened. My stepmother tried to cut me off, like definitely end my life before I was born. I don't blame her. Any woman those days could do that, but nowadays women are just like getting married. This is sister wives, brother husband. They're like all these in these centuries. I didn't blame her those days. She was also shocked. I don't blame her. Being out of my closet was beginning. Is actually beginning. Now that's how I was born. That's how I came to the world. I was born premature, and my mother experienced the hurt with me as well. She was hurt. She experienced a lot of pain. She experienced resentment. She had to fight another woman she went through, I don't blame her, she went through hell. It was really sad. Join me again next time as I bringing out my closet, telling you more details about it. I brought out a little bit closet out of my mother. Okay, I have been quite silent lately, and I remember the last podcast that I submitted was by mistake, because the network kept on jamming, and only to find out that it was being sent. What really kept me quiet is that I came across a post on Facebook, and this woman, her mother just poured paraffin on her, and she wanted to kill her, and her face was bruised, and her mother was a churchgoer, a woman who prays and everything. So it got me thinking. Like, I have been thinking that I am not sorry, or bringing out my closet, not sorry. It's a podcast that would literally change other people's lives or heal me. But I realized that there are people out there who are in the worst situation than my podcast is about. But as I have started it to be a healing, as part of the healing to me, and letting go and making the inner child be free, I think I should continue with my podcast, because whoever is going through whatever out there, we might learn one or two from each other. Like I've learned from this woman, as I said, she struggled more than me. She has seen the worst than I could say, but my show has to go on regardless of anything, because this is me healing, and I am sure that someone listening, or you listening, might learn one thing or two, and learn to heal together as well. As you all know, the podcast is all about looking for love and not finding it, and not knowing that is inside. We all look at it in the wrong directions, at the wrong places, but it's always in us, and love begins by loving ourselves, begins by us. But then when you have no idea about love, and you are just a child looking for love out there, it is difficult for one to understand the difference. So we all have to learn the hard way. But then we should be glad that it happened to us than it happened to the weak people out there. In this episode, I'll be sharing what comes to my heart as I go. I sat down and I scripted my life. I went deep down memory lane, but then this show is mine. Why would I script it? I don't need to script it. And And I am so grateful that I have passed through all this misery, tragedies, and all these horrible things at that age, and at this age as well. And if you are a kind person, some of the things would make you a monster unnecessarily, but then we should hold on and let the monster stay back and be ourselves. We choose to be who we want to be. Life cannot make us what it wants us to be. Thank you for listening, and I promise from now on, I feel good. I really feel good. I promise from now on that I will continue with my show. I'm not letting it stop for anybody. And things comes and go. When you are focused on something else, another thing comes. But this is my show, and I need to heal. And you need to learn as well how I survived it, so you too can survive it. Thank you. And my name is Lucia.